Hello everyone, today I'm going to do something a little bit different, slightly a little bit more serious. When I say serious, I don't mean like serious, deep issues. I just mean non-beauty, fashion, makeup related, more life related. A lot of you may know, or you may not know, you may be new to my channel, that I suffer with anxiety and panic attacks. And I have suffered these since I was the age of 14, or so I thought. I do think that I was quite an anxious child as well, but this is not a therapy session for myself, so let's not go into that. I did actually make a video about it quite a while ago now actually, and it helped a lot of you, and I still get questions from people about anxiety and about panic attacks and about stress and depression and lots of different things that lots of different teenagers go through or think they're going through, and the majority of the time they think they're going through this alone. So I just wanted to make this video to reassure some of you that it is, you know, it's a common thing. A lot of people suffer with it. I still suffer with it. It hasn't magically gone away, and I just wanted to answer a few of your questions that I always see popping up everywhere. So yesterday I asked you guys to ask me questions on Twitter using the hashtag Zoella which we got trending worldwide. We're all very, very different and we're all programmed differently, and I think it's a good thing. So before I start, I just want to say embrace it. Open your mind to this video and enjoy, and I hope I answer some of your questions. One of the main questions that I got asked was, do you have any tips on calming yourself down if you can feel an anxiety attack or a panic attack coming on? I can only give you my personal tips. I'm sure there are many of you that have tips as well, which you could also share in the comments, which I think would be really useful for a lot of people. But personally, what I like to do is to take myself out of the situation where I'm feeling anxious. So that might be to step outside, to go somewhere quiet. If that's in a busy place, maybe a public toilet. I know it doesn't sound great, but it's quiet and it's just you. I get quite anxious around big crowds. I feel like I'm being smothered when I start to feel panicky. I feel very claustrophobic and I feel very hot. So for me the best thing to do is to get outside into the fresh air, look up at the sky and be like, you are not trapped, nothing is smothering you. If it's a person that's making you anxious, get away from the person without being rude. Just kind of slip yourself away. That does actually happen sometimes. I can find myself talking to somebody and all of a sudden I'm like, you're making me feel anxious. It's not like a personal dig at somebody, it's just that you'll be speaking to someone and their words will just be going completely over your head and you're just watching their mouth move and you feel like you're not really there. That's happened to me a few times and I've just sort of had to be like, I'm just going to pop and get a drink. If you're not near fresh air, which is always a massive help for me, water, having a glass of water, trying to breathe is also very important. A lot of the time you could be crying. You're breathing in too much oxygen when you're panicking, which can cause you to hyperventilate, which can then cause you to freak out even more. So you have to be really aware of your breathing, which when you're having a panic attack isn't very easy, and it can be the last thing on your mind. So it's always helpful if you're with someone and you feel comfortable to be around that person. Let them know this so they can remind you to, you know, breathe slowly, breathe in for 10 seconds, breathe out for 10 seconds. Or if you have a paper bag, it's always good to balance out the carbon dioxide and the oxygen intake. So breathe, listen to relaxing music or distract yourself by looking at things around you. So looking at people, thinking, I wonder where they're going today. Oh, maybe they're going on holiday. Nice thoughts. I like to think of beaches. I also have an app. I have two apps, one called calm.com and I have one called Relax Melodies, which plays out relaxing sounds you can pick from, like beach sounds to forest sounds to like park sounds, anywhere that you specifically find a relaxing place. Like for me, the sea is super relaxing. So if I'm ever feeling anxious living here, I know I can just walk outside and go and sit by the beach for a bit and then I'm absolutely calm. But if you're not and you're on public transport or you need to calm down quickly, like I've been on the tube before and I've had specific songs. I actually used to make a playlist which for some of you I think would be a really good idea if it happens quite regularly or you want it to stop it from happening, is to have a playlist of music on your phone or your iPod or MP3 player, and just have that list of music that keeps you calm, that brings back really happy memories, that can take your mind off situations and you're not like overthinking about things. And just play that and get yourself through the songs and think about the lyrics. And I always find that very beneficial. And obviously the app, you can listen to sounds. Once I was freaking out on a train and I literally put my headphones in, shut my eyes and listened to the sounds of the beach and the birds, and I tried to convince myself I was not on a ram-packed hot train, I was actually on a beach. It's hard to do, but you have to really try. Just think of it scientifically, just think this isn't going to last long. My heart's beating fast because it's pumping the blood around my body a lot quicker. I'm feeling a bit lightheaded because my breathing isn't proper. Instead of thinking, I'm going to faint, I'm going to die, these things make you freak out even more. So you have to try and think of the science and the body behind the things that are happening to you as you're freaking out. I once had chronic pins and needles in my hands and feet and I thought I was going to faint, and then I told myself it was actually because of my breathing. So I managed to slow my breathing down and regulate my breathing, and I was like, okay, the pins and needles are going. And it all kind of makes sense then. If you could understand it a bit better, you don't have to freak out as much. Generally though, if it's not when you're having a panic attack and you're just a very anxious person, light exercise, walks, maybe a little bike ride every now and then, maybe, I don't know, up and down your stairs in your house. Exercise is always really good. Yoga, meditation, enough sleep. I always find with anxiety, if I don't have enough sleep, I could have a particularly anxious day the next day. Eat well, drink well. You just want to keep your body in a good place, because then when your body's in a good place, your mind is in a good place. And also try and stay organised. Even if your anxiety isn't around being organised, I always just find if things are a bit more organised in your life, then everything is a little bit more organised in your mind. Someone asked me, what is the worst thing about my anxiety? The worst thing about my anxiety personally is when it comes to being given opportunities. Now you guys won't know half of the things I've been asked to do that I've had to say no to because I've been scared, I've been afraid that I'm going to have a panic attack, like on, I don't know, on live TV and it's going to go wrong, and I've been scared of what you'll all think. Like, I think too much about what other people think. So a lot of the time it's easier for me to say no because I like to keep other people happy. And I think that's the worst thing about my anxiety, because I am totally under the whole premise of saying yes to things and then seeing what comes out of it. But sometimes I'll think, I couldn't possibly do that. There's no way I could possibly do that. And then I'll leave it to the last minute and I'll chicken out and be like, no, I can't. And then I'll regret it. So that's probably the worst thing about my anxiety, is that it holds me back from doing certain things. It's definitely things that 2 years ago I would never have even contemplated, and my confidence in that area has improved dramatically. Doing what I do, you kind of have to, you know, you have to do these things. Like, I could say, I mean, I want to be able to fly across the other half of the world to see you guys and to meet as many of you as possible, but that is still hard for me. And I have this thing where I know something's coming up, and every day I'll get like a little heart flutter when I think about it, and I've got a lot of things like that at the moment, so I'm feeling quite stressed. But that is probably the worst thing, because normally you'd just be excited, but I just feel terrified. So the excitement does come eventually, but before that it's scaredness.